I'm Lauren Green, and you're in the strategy room. Would voters want a third Obama term? Well, the president thinks so. As he wrapped up his trip to Africa, President Obama weighed in on the current 2016 field.
I actually think I'm a pretty good president. I think if I ran, I could win.
Well, after 2 terms in office, though, many wonder if he could theoretically win. Here with reaction, our political strategists, David Mercer and Brad Blakeman. Welcome to you both.
Thanks. Good to be with you.
Okay, David, I kind of know what your answer is, but I have to ask it anyway. So could Obama win a third term?
Well, I think he did it once, he did it twice, and I think those are good odds to say if it was permissible and allowable by law that he would have a good shot at doing that. Owing also to the fact that if you look at the favorability ratings of the GOP party, they haven't gotten better since 2008 or 2012. They've only gotten worse. We're only 32% of the American public has a favorable opinion of the GOP party. And as we also have seen, they're offering no alternatives. So he'd be in good stead being at 49, 50% for a sitting president to have. That's a lot better than what Bush had when he was leaving office after his second term at about 36%. So he would have a very good shot, and I think the odds and handicappers would be with him.
Okay, I want to get to those poll numbers just a little bit later, but Brad, I want you to answer the question as well. So could Obama win a third term?
No, I think people are still scratching their head to figure out how he won a second term. And thank God our Constitution prohibits a president from overstaying their welcome. But the president should be graceful in his leaving and not try and stick around or get evicted from the Oval Office. The fact is his time is up, and he shouldn't be saying, especially in a foreign country, that I could be reelected. It's something that is beneath a president of the United States. He shouldn't have said it, and it doesn't reflect well on him, especially when we have a race where he's trying to help Hillary win a first term.
I want to look at this poll. Okay, but Brad, David, I want to look at the poll because President Obama's approval rating, according to the Real Clear Politics average, is 45.6%. That's the approval, compared to 50.2% who disapprove. So with those kind of numbers, do you think he theoretically could win the presidency a third term?
Listen, the poll numbers were lower. They were down to 42% when the likes of Mitch McConnell, who promised Republicans and the American public that he would make Obama a one-term president. And that's why they're still scratching their head, as Brad alludes to. And that's one of the reasons why I think he would have a good chance of winning, because they're still scratching their head figuring out how he did it in 08 and 012. And one of the ways he did it is by being one of the most consequential presidents in our modern day history with what he has done in the 6 to 7 years. And you see that in the Supreme Court cases validating a lot of the policies he initiated, from health care to gay marriage and other issues, including and foremost the economy, which was going off the fiscal cliff, and now we have 12.7 jobs having been created in 64 months.
Okay.
So I think he's on a well-grounded foundation to, if it were to be the case, to run.
Okay, but Brad, I mean, there is a difference between campaigning and governing, and so
Sure.
the poll numbers that are out there right now, do you think those are a reflection of his governing or his campaigning?
No, his campaigning, his governing. If you look at the polls, right track, wrong track, a majority of Americans believe the country's on the wrong track. The American people think the economy is terrible, and it's a false economy because there could be as many as 17 million people who are underemployed, unemployed, who have left the workforce. Housing prices. I mean, you go down the list. This president has been a great campaigner, but an awful administrator and an executive. And he's governed basically, he's ignored Congress, and he's picked up his pen and his phone, he said it himself, and ruled by executive order. And his modus operandi is, if you don't like what I'm doing, sue me. And we do.
Yeah,
Brad mentions food prices, but we've seen oil dropping precipitously, and we've seen America become more self-sufficient in reducing its external oil supplies. So there are numbers, including the jobs numbers, that bode well for this president.
Gas is 100% higher now than when he took office.
But is Obama right now a lame duck president, though, David?
Absolutely not. And contrary to what what Brad just alluded to and not working with Congress, we just saw with what could be multiple nation trade agreement that took both bipartisan support on Republican and Democratic sides, and that is a collegiality that he has established in getting some real stuff done. You know, right now you still have the Republican Congress trying to repeal Obamacare for what, the 58th time, instead of coming up with an alternative. That you can see on wage increases, that you can see on covering unemployment insurance, you can see that on making it for equal pay for women. You know, they don't have alternatives and they don't have solutions. And you're going to see that among the primary candidates in the Republican field.
Okay, Brad.
And that's why you're going to have a brawl there.
Okay, Brad, you answer him back.
Well, look,
You get the last word.
He's doubled the national debt. He hasn't fixed entitlements. It's always somebody else's problem. And look, he feels I inherited a mess. My successor's going to inherit a mess, and it is a mess. Whoever it takes that office is going to have a foreign policy disaster, the entire Middle East, the economy. He should be glad he's retiring.
All right,
Lauren, can I leave one thought? If you look back to 1940, since 1940, Democratic administrations have created 75 million jobs. In contrast, Republican administrations have only created 34 million jobs. So if we're looking to expand growth and jobs, look to a Democratic administration.
But most of them are in the public sector. We're
No,
paying
that's
for
not
those
true.
jobs.
More
All right.
private sector jobs.
No,
Brad.
All right,
public.
we got to go, guys. Thank you so
Private.
much, David
Thanks.
Mercer and Brad Blakeman. Thanks so much. If you want to check out foxnews.com for more on the 2016 presidential race, I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.